The scene opens at a party. Courtney and her friends are playing a drinking game. One of the friends talks about an app called Countdown Skinny that helps users calculate their calories. Another friend wants to get that app but finds another app instead. This app tells users the exact time they're going to die. They decide to download this app, and the people with the lowest time left have to drink all the drinks on the table. After some initial hesitancy, Courtney joins in on the game and downloads the app. The app shows Courtney has only 3 hours to live. The others don't take this seriously and urge Courtney to drink up. Evan, Courtney's boyfriend, joins the table and helps Courtney with the alcohol. After the party, Evan's drunk. Courtney's uncomfortable with Evan driving home in that state, suggesting that they should walk to her house. Evan tries to convince Courtney that he's sober enough to drive, but she's not buying it. She gets out of the car and tells him she'll walk home, and he drives away in anger. As she watches Evan drive away, there's a shrill notification from her phone. It's the Countdown app letting Courtney know that she's broken the user agreement. She opens the app and the timer shows she has 7 minutes to live. She puts the phone in her purse and continues walking. She notices there's someone walking behind her. Scared, Courtney keeps glancing behind to see the person's face, but his features are blurred. She calms a little bit when the assumed stalker finally gets into a car and drives away. Courtney continues to see and hear things as she walks home. The Countdown app informs Courtney that she has little over a minute left. She runs home, locks the doors, and looks outside to see if there's anything to be scared of. When the notification sounds again, she turns off her phone. She goes into the bathroom to get some water. Even in the house, Courtney still hears strange noises. One of them is coming from behind the shower curtain. She goes to check it out. But before she can draw back the curtain, the shrill sound comes on again, and the Countdown app counts down her final seconds. At the same time, some kind of force lifts Courtney into the air and drops her to the ground. On her way to the ground, Courtney hits her head on the edge of the bathtub and dies instantly, just as the counter runs to 0. At the same time, Evan is in a car crash. He's hurt but alive, having crashed into a tree. Part of the tree smashed through the windshield and the headrest where Courtney's head would have been if she'd gone with Evan. Quinn is pushing a food cart in the hospital. She delivers food to patients and helps some of them eat. When she gets to Evan's room, she notices that he hasn't eaten his previous meal. Before we go on, like the video, smash the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, or Slender Man will haunt your dreams. Quinn finds him in a closed-off part of the hospital. She tells Evan that the area is closed off to avoid lead poisoning, but he pleads with her that he only needs a moment. Quinn tells Evan it's normal to be scared before surgery, and that he'll be okay. Evan says he's not worried about the surgery, but about the Countdown app that tells him he has 19 hours to live. Quinn scoffs at the idea. Evan tells her about Courtney and how she would have died if she had been in his car. Quinn tries to assure Evan that Courtney didn't die because she wasn't in the car. But Evan tells Quinn that Courtney did die. He says that the app knows when people will die, and it says that he'll die during the surgery the next day. She says the app developer is probably a loser who lives in his parents' basement and enjoys scaring people. Evan agrees and they leave together. Nurse Amy reprimands Evan for going to a restricted area and leads Quinn to a surprise party, celebrating her passing the exams and becoming a nurse. At the celebration, Quinn tells the others about the Countdown app. Amy doesn't understand why anybody would want to download that app. Derek, a coworker, says he wants to, and he downloads the app. And the app says he has 53 years left to live, and he sends it to everyone else. At the end of the shift, Quinn is in the elevator on her way home when she sees Derek's link for the app. She downloads it and realizes she has 2 days to live. Dr. Sullivan meets in the elevator, touches her inappropriately, and asks where she intends to celebrate. Quinn takes a rain check, claiming she has to finish up paperwork. Sullivan says he's proud of her and leaves the elevator. Realizing she needs her birth certificate to complete her nursing paperwork, she goes home, only to find her sister Jordan and Joe, Jordan's boyfriend, in the closet. She says she shouldn't have boys in the house, but her sister says Quinn can't tell her what to do because she isn't their mother. Quinn follows Jordan to her room and tells her she's now officially a nurse. The news doesn't change Jordan's attitude. Quinn's father meets her in the hallway, and they hug. He invites Quinn to join he and Jordan as they put flowers at their mother's grave. Quinn agrees. The next day, Amy tells a tensed Evan that he should go now if he wants to go to the bathroom. But Evan says he's fine. He checks his phone. The countdown timer says he has 3 minutes left. Evan decides not to have the surgery. As he leaves the room, the shrill notification informs Evan he has broken the user agreement. Evan puts the phone back in his pocket and starts to walk away with the aid of crutches. He looks into a mirror and sees a hooded figure behind him. But when he looks over his shoulder, he doesn't see anybody. Looks at the mirror again, and the same thing happens. Back over his shoulder, still no one there. The third time he looks at the mirror, cracks appear in the glass. Evan panics and runs to the stairwell. In the stairwell, the door locks against him. When he tries to open it, Evan sees a sign that tells him to go down to the first floor. The lights in the stairwell go out, and the app notifies Evan that he has 1 minute and 30 seconds left. He desperately tries to find a way out when suddenly a zombie version of Courtney appears and walks towards Evan. His phone falls to the ground with the timer counting down to 0. Evan breaks his neck and dies falling from the 5th floor. As Quinn resumes work, she sees Sullivan talking to a grieving couple. Quinn asks Amy who they are. Amy says they're Evan's parents and tells her about the apparent suicide. Quinn gets Evan's phone, unlocks it, and sees that the countdown app is at 0. This frightens her, leading her to call her dad to break their engagement for Saturday. But when she does that, the shrill notification informs her that she has broken the user agreement. She sees a cloaked figure in the room she walked past as she walks through the corridor. Quinn walks back to confirm her suspicion but doesn't see anything. When Sullivan touches her from behind, Quinn almost jumps out of her skin. Sullivan apologizes for scaring her. After Quinn tells him that she's been having a bad day, he pretends to offer comfort but then starts to harass Quinn sexually. When she rejects his advances, Sullivan apologizes. She leaves the room and tries to tell Amy what happened, but Sullivan calls Amy, leading her to step away from the conversation. Quinn gets another notification from the app telling her she's broke the user agreement. When she gets home, she tries to research how to delete the app and about the app itself. She stumbles across Courtney's story and sees the video of a girl who says she sees her cousin who died a while ago. The girl also says the app seems to be feeding on her fears. She also records her last moments, but most of the comments below the video say the girl is lying. As she closes the laptop, Quinn sees zombie Evan at the foot of her bed. She also hears whispers. She throws her phone on the floor and smashes it as she hurries out of the room. That night she sleeps in her car, having a nightmare that showed a withered hand outside the car window. In the morning, Jordan knocks on Quinn's car window, asking why Quinn didn't sleep in her room, and Quinn tells her that she was afraid of a cockroach. Jordan says their dad has left, and she wants to know if she can stay with her sister. Quinn says it's not a good time, and Jordan leaves angrily. Quinn goes to get a new phone and a new number. But when she turns her new phone on, Quinn sees the countdown app. She sees Matt, who's also in the store. Matt has 17 hours to live. They go to the bar where they both realize that they have broken the user agreements by refusing to accept their fate and go to the engagements where they were supposed to die. For Quinn, she was supposed to die at the family outing. For Matt, he was supposed to visit his aunt. They both canceled, putting them in death's crosshairs. Now together they go to see the chaplain at Quinn's hospital. Quinn explains their predicament and asks how to fight demons. The chaplain says that he doesn't believe in demons, but he writes down someone's name who can help them. Quinn and Matt are about to leave when Amy stops them. She tells Quinn they have to talk. She leads her to an inquiry where Dr. Sullivan had accused her of sexual harassment. Without hearing Quinn's side of the story, she gets suspended from the hospital. While waiting for Quinn, Matt decides to go to the bathroom. While in there, he's attacked by a child zombie. The arrival of someone else in the bathroom makes the zombie disappear. Quinn and Matt go to see the Reverend, who tells them a tale of a gypsy and a prince. There was a war coming, and the prince wanted to know if he would win. The gypsy gave the prince a scroll with the exact time he would die. The gypsy warned the prince not to use this knowledge to change his fate, but the prince sent his brother in his place. But his brother didn't die. He won the battle. The prince goes to the gypsy to tell her that the angel of death is after him. The gypsy tells the prince that he's actually being pursued by the demon Osen, who will torment him until he dies at the appointed time. So the priest suggests they hack the app. This leads him back to the guy who sold the phone to Quinn. After bribing him, he agrees to hack the app. He does, and Quinn realizes Jordan has also downloaded the app. The store owner adds years to Quinn, Matt, and Jordan's lives. Matt and Quinn end up at her apartment. Quinn asked what pushed Matt to download the app. He reveals that when he was little, he lost his baby brother. Before he died, Matt stole his brother's toy. Quinn says her mom grounded her, but she snuck out of the party anyway. When her mother went out to find her, she was killed by a drunk driver. Later that night, Quinn sleeps when the lights are out, and a hand she thinks is Matt's turns into that of a demon. They both check their counters. Matt has an hour, while Quinn has 4. Quinn calls Jordan repeatedly, but the woman she's staying with has confiscated her phone. When she finally gets her phone, Jordan sees her timer, also saying she has 4 hours. The lights go out, and Jordan begins to see and hear things. She runs to the door and sees Quinn and Matt, who take her away to safety. The 3 of them go back to the church. The priest tells him that one way to beat the app is to live 1 second beyond the timer. He has to bless salt and use it to form a pentagram within a circle to do this. They mix the salt with the paint so the demon can't blow it away. As Matt's timer's counting down, he's getting scared. Quinn assures him that the plan will work and kisses him. The demon Osen arrives, and the salt successfully keeps it out. Matt's phone gives off a shrill noise. Everyone tells him to turn it off, but before he can do it, Matt sees his brother, asking why Matt stole his toy. Matt tries to apologize, which makes him step out of the circle of protection. Osen pulls Matt through the church and Quinn gives chase. When Matt gets to the road, a car hits him and he dies. In the chaos, Quinn sees that Jordan has a puncture wound in her abdomen. She takes her to the hospital. After Sullivan treats Jordan, Quinn comes up with an idea of breaking the app's curse by killing Sullivan. Jordan tells Quinn it's her fault their mom died. Jordan knew where Quinn went, but she didn't tell their mom. Quinn says it isn't Jordan's fault, but the fault of the drunk driver that ran that red light. Jordan says Quinn shouldn't blame herself because their mom's death isn't her fault either. Quinn goes to Sullivan's office to implement her plan. After touching and showing him some skin, she tells Sullivan to meet her at the closed-off area of the hospital if he's interested. Sullivan goes to find Quinn, only to get hit with a crowbar. Before she can finish the job, Jordan distracts Quinn and Sullivan gets away. She goes after Sullivan as Jordan, who has only over a minute left, starts to hear voices. Quinn finds Sullivan, who hits her and says he's going to kill her. She turns the tables on him, but before she can do real damage, she dislocates her ankle, allowing Sullivan to escape again. Quinn gets to an old medicine locker and takes out some vials and a syringe. Unsure of what to do, Jordan starts to cry. Osen finds her and throws her through a glass window. She has about 50 seconds left. As Osen approaches her, Quinn says he's no longer in control. She has the syringe loaded and the needle in her arm. Jordan tells her not to kill herself. As Quinn's about to do it, Osen changes to her mom. She asks Quinn where she was, and Quinn tells her mom to forgive her. Her mom says she does and stretches her hands out for a hug. Quinn almost buying it, but last second she recovers and injects herself. As she dies, Osen disintegrates. Jordan goes to her now dead sister and sees that Quinn has written the drug Narcan on her upper arm and wants Jordan to inject it. She does it, and Quinn comes back to life. They hug each other. The camera pans to Jordan's phone, and the timer stops. Quinn, Jordan, and their father go to their mother's grave to put fresh flowers. Jordan reveals that Sullivan has been charged for sexual assault and sentenced to prison. As they're about to leave the cemetery, Quinn's phone has a notification. When she checks it, she sees Countdown 2.0 has been installed on her phone. Countdown was released in 2019. It was produced by Boys Schiller Film Group, Two Grown Men, and Wrigley Pictures. Some of those that starred in the movie are Elizabeth Lail, Jordan Calloway, Talitha Bateman, and PJ Byron. Would you download an app that would tell you when you would die? Tell me with the hashtag Cinema Recap in the comments.